this is a series I'm going to start doing on here. Mainly going to be for late models, because that's what I prefer on here. Sprint cars are a lot of fun, especially I think the 305s are a lot of fun. This is just to go through the setups, let everybody know how to set it up, go over everything, and really critique these setups instead of just looking on the screen and seeing. Of course, you can do that. I did mess around with this setup just a little bit earlier, and we're not going to go back to that. But what we're going to do is we're just going to run some practice and feel what the car's doing. I can tell you right now the car is horrible, so we're basically going to be starting over. So let's jump in here to practice. And I chose to do my first one at Fairbury because this is such a fun track. It's a tight track. It's a lot of fun. Get off the wall there. And you can see right off the bat the car likes to shoot up towards the wall coming off the corners. See right there. And if your car does that, it's one of two things is going on. Either you're really tight coming off, obviously, because the car is shooting up towards the top. Every time it's doing that, and we're going to fix that. We're going to get that fixed. Or your car's really loose and you're oversteering. But I can tell you right now, it's because my car's so tight coming off the corners. And I'm just going to run one more lap here so that way you can see what my car's doing. And you can see the setup right now, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Every time it's going up towards the wall. But we're going to get that fixed. See, that was an 11.111. That was actually my best. And that's just not going to cut it. So let's go back here. We're going to end practice. Alright, so we're going to go right here to set up. And like I said, we're going to critique this. We're going to actually go over what everything's doing. So my entry's good. And you can see, you know, my valving is pretty much the same all over. But we're going to critique this, and we're really going to go over, like I said, what everything does. So we're going to start off with the top going down, camber. So if you with your camber, and you could go to the setup guide and all that. That's on the website. But we're going to go with camber. If you put in more camber, your turns are going to be a lot more responsive. So, like, let's say if you hit the left right away to turn in, you're going to snap in right away. The less camber you have, you could try to snap in. It's not going to be as snappy. If you want to run the high side, I would suggest less camber, obviously. If you run the low side, you'd like to get down that dirty, you know, down there where there's actually a lot of grip, but you're going to have to turn a lot harder. You're going to want to run more camber. I like to have more response myself. So on our cambers, we're just going to go up right here. Going to go over here, this camber. And we're going to go this. Wrong way. There we go. This is debatable. Some people are going to get out here and go, well, I thought you said more and you went actually lower. Well, you got to understand camber, and you can look up pictures of that, and you could go from there. Because the tires actually sit at angles. If you're watching this, you probably already know that. Alright, so we're going to go to spring rates now. So your spring rate, and if you're getting bored with of this, just fast forward, and you can get my final setup. So your spring rates, like I said, the car is really tight coming out. So that's what I need. That's what I need to adjust is my exits. So my turn in is fine. So I'm probably actually not really going to touch that. I'd like to have maybe a little more turn in, a little looser on my turn in. So the best way to explain this is think of it if you're sitting on a chair. Okay? And you got 4 corners to a chair. If you want that up, down. If you want the left front of the chair to be up in the air, you're going to add. and you're going to take down, if that makes sense. You want that right front to, or that right rear to squat a little bit coming off, so that way, or to be up a little bit, so that way, it more or less it pushes you off the corner. So we're going to put that right about a 400, and then we're going to go to left rear, and we're going to soften that up. Okay. Now we're going to go to our right front, and this is for the turn in again. I want just a little bit looser turn in, so I'm going to soften this just a little bit. Like I said, you got to think of this like a chair. And then for the right rear to be looser on exit, we're going to have to stiffen it up. And we're going to go dramatic. And this won't be the final. I'm going to go do this, and then I'll run some laps, come back to it, come back, and over again. All right, so we got our camber, we got our spring rate. Now we're going to do shock bump. And you don't want to go way over dramatic on these, because then if I did go over dramatic, then my car's just going to be extremely loose coming off. And then I'm going to have problems with that again. Okay, so with a shock bump, with the front, if it's higher, you're going to be tighter on entry. If it's lower, you're going to be looser on entry. So with my shock bump, I'm actually I'm going to go to a 3.5 for my fronts. I'm not going to go over dramatic on those. And then on my rears, if you want to be tighter on exit, you go higher. If you want to be looser on exit, you go lower. I'm just going to leave those right there where they are, those shock bumps at 3, and see where those go. Like I said, we're probably going to come back to these. We'll see. Okay, now our shock rebound. Kind of the same thing, just mirrored. If you go higher on the left front, you're going to be tighter on exit. If you go lower, you're going to be looser on exit. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to leave it right here at 3. Oops. With my right front, if I go higher, I'm looser on exit. If I go lower, I'm tighter on exit. Take that down to a 3. With our left rear, it'll be looser on entry if I higher it, tighter on entry if I lower it. So I'm going to leave it right there. And same thing on right rear. If I higher it, I'm tighter on entry, or exact opposite. If I higher it, I'm tighter on entry, lower, looser on entry. So I think with the shock rebounds, I think we're good right there. As far as tire pressures, just mess around with that. We all know how to adjust those. I'm going to leave them right where they are. I might actually go down on my right rear, but I'm going to run some laps before I think about that. Tire stagger, I had it at 1.5. I'm just going to leave it there. We're going to call that good. Brake bias, not going to worry about that really. Left weight, higher left weight is looser handling, lower left weight is tighter handling. I'm in the middle on that. I got it jacked all the way up right now. I'm actually going to take that to a 54. Sometimes I like a loose car, sometimes I like a tight car. With cross weight, higher cross weight is more traction on throttle, more understeer through the corner. Lower cross weight, more oversteer through the corner, and less traction on corner exit. Again, you guys can look this up on the internet. That's what I'm doing right now. Or you can just hang with me and we can do this together. So with the cross weight, I kind of like the more traction, so I'm going to go higher cross weight, especially on a small track. Ride heights, so the lower front ride height, more overall oversteer. Higher front ride height, more overall understeer. So it kind of want to be right in the middle. I'm just going to put it at 0.5. Call that good. Okay, the rear. These J-bars, I was reading up on this earlier, and these things are confusing as it gets. So increasing both J-bars. Looser center, less forward traction on exit. I want a lot of forward, but if I go too much forward, then that could shoot me towards the wall. So I don't really want to increase a lot. I'd say a 16. We'll just bump them up a little, both of those a little bit. Go down to our ride height. We're going to match that. And then ride height on the back, put the same. Rear weight, more oversteer in high-speed corners, more traction out of low-speed corners. So, more oversteer in high-speed corners, more. I'm going to say this is all just personal preference, really. And then, as far as wheel lock and all that, that's just personal preference. I'm actually going to go up just a little bit on the gears. So we're going to save this setup, and we're going to see if we nailed this setup or if we are completely wrong. So let's go back to practice and see if this car is any better. She is really loose. Still going up towards the wall. You know, it just might be my driving style. I might have to change my driving style. But the car does actually feel a lot better than what it did. You might want to take note that I am on controller. I'm not on wheel. I need to get my gas pedal fixed. Or actually just get new ones. Because I broke mine again. Okay, so I just figured out something. Yeah, it's still wanting to shoot up towards that wall, obviously. But, watch this. It's when I let off the gas and get back on it. That's when it does it. So if I power out of the corners, I'm fine. Stay straight. Wow, that was close. So if I stay on the gas, I'm fine. It's when I adjust my throttling. That's when it really shoots up towards the corners. Or shoots up to the wall. Whoa! Picked a bad place to do a slide job there, buddy. So I think I know how I can fix this. But it's still wanting to go towards that wall when I get on the throttle. So let's go fix this. I just need to be looser on that exit. I need to squat this rear, but I'm going to do it with tire pressure. I'm going to do it this way. I think that'll work. So it is better. Definitely not perfect, but it is better. Still not hitting that goal time though. Man, I cannot get that goal time. Well, I don't think I'm going to hit the goal. How close am I? I'm not even... I prefer running the high side here. And the way this is set up, running the low side really ain't an option, but it feels pretty decent. If you want, here's the setup. You can go off of this and just adjust it from there. But yeah, I don't know what else to you know what, let's try this. I'm gonna try this real quick. We're gonna try this just to throw a Hail Mary at it. Woo! Oh man, that was going to be a great corner too. All right, let's try one more lap here. God, I don't know what else I can do. I know if Red, you all know, probably know who Red is, or Hunt the Front, them guys will be able to get on here and just whip up a setup real quick probably and totally shatter the goal speed. But I'm kind of new at this. I'm going to keep messing with this and hopefully get the goal time. But the car actually feels really good with this setup. It is a little loose coming off, but the car is going right where I want it to go. Feels good on the high side. Coming off, it does want to snap a little bit. Yeah, it still wants to snap. Boom. You know, it might be the game. I don't know. But I'll show you the setup one more time. If you want a good setup, this is a pretty good setup. Just got to figure out how to get rid of that snap coming out the corners. If you guys know how to do that, if you guys have any advice for me, let me know. Drop it down in the comments. Name a track that you want me to do this on again. Or if this is a bad idea, I could just figure out a good setup and share it with you guys. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.